Hi, hotties! Welcome back to the Real House Guest of North Hollywood. I am your host, Carson Frey. Hello, hello, hello. If you're watching, talking about what's going on here. I'm breaking out worse than I ever have before. And if you're listening, I'm beautiful. I look great. I don't know if you guys, I'm closer to 30 than 20, and I feel like, in your early 20s, you go through like a second puberty and you break out a bunch and your hormones change. Does that happen again, like right before you turn 30? That's how I feel. So some light housekeeping. We did our first book club last month. If you haven't listened, go back and listen to that episode. It's great. If you haven't listened to the book, we do a full kind of recap and deep dive. And if you have read it, I think it's a really fun perspective. And our book club for the month of August will be Pursuit of Porsha. Have it right here, looking all lovely, by Porsha Williams. I really want to celebrate her return to Atlanta, so let's read her book. Okay, let's get started with Bravo news because we have a lot. So let's just jump into it. So Vicki Gunvalson is being sued for elder abuse, financial elder abuse. So basically this lawsuit is this woman who is a client of hers for her insurance company. So this is what it says. Diane Field alleges in the suit filed in May at the Superior Court of California in Orange County that she was taken advantage of by the Bravo star and her business partner. Field claims in docs that she and her late husband had a combined net worth of $6 million, due in part to investments, and they had made in stocks and funds she inherited from her mother, who ceased in 2002. Blah 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 blah. Goes on and accuses Vicki of financial abuse and said Vicki kind of swindled her. If there's any lawyers, Bravo Docket's really great about this stuff. Any lawyers want to explain to me just personally, I'll pay you. I probably can't afford you because I live in North Hollywood, not Beverly Hills, but we'll see what we can work out. Dorinda Medley is officially getting her own show set in her home in Bluestone Manor. I read online it's going to be more like Vanderpump Villa style. I think Bravo's pissed they didn't pick up Vanderpump Villa and they let Hulu get it because they're obviously making their own, and I'm glad she's back on camera. So Jax Taylor entered treatment for mental health this week. I made a TikTok about it kind of immediately as it happened. And then after it happened, I was like, is this immoral to do? But then I saw earlier that day, Jax was posting on his story, all these self-help books and photos of his son before the announcement. And Valley is filming season 2 right now. So I just kind of hope this isn't a storyline. It just feels kind of icky for it to be a storyline. But I hope he's getting help. But why didn't you get treatment when there weren't cameras around? And then that kind of leads into the next point. It was Raquel kind of immediately saw the headlines and she made a notes app screen recording of her support for Jax. And it was just so performative. I don't think unless she actually went away, she will come across to viewers as anything but performative. Phaedra is officially back. I'm sure you guys all saw her post. I'm excited. I know last week I was like, I don't know if we should let her come back. She did a bad thing, but I'm thinking about what the energy Atlanta needs. We need her. We need frick and frack, baby. I'm so excited. I love Phaedra. I love Porsha. I love them together. So I'm excited for the energy she's going to bring. I guess she was not coming back to Married to Medicine because apparently on Married to Medicine, someone brought in Apollo and his ex-wife to confront Phaedra. So Phaedra said, absolutely not. I will go back to Atlanta. And Carl just soft launched his bar called Soft Boy. Now, I know it's supposed to be a spin on soft drinks, that whole thing. But is it because he told Lindsay to be soft so much last season? Because that feels icky. Even though I'm very supportive of this idea, soft just feels a little icky. In happy news, Katie Maloney was seen on a date from Connor from Love Island. Ship that. I know she's like probably 10 years older than him, but I want it for Katie. And I posted it. So I posted on my story like what was reported. And guys, you know, we're a small community right now. One day we will be very large. We will have this like all these other Bravo lovers who are very kind and don't want to be assholes. That will be our community one day and it'll be big. But right now it's small. But Katie Maloney's mom does follow me and she does look at my story all the time. So I posted it and I immediately was like, I hope Terry doesn't get mad. I hope Terry doesn't get mad, you know? Okay. This week we are going to talk OC. We're going to talk New Jersey. Now, I know podcast comes out on Tuesdays. I'm recording it on Sunday. The Jersey episode the finale of Jersey hasn't come out yet, so we're going to talk about the episode before. Next week, I promise we will talk about this finale. I have been so bad about talking about Jersey because it's not really like a fun season, and I don't want to just come in here and talk about what happened. Like, I want to have thoughts, point of views. I want to add to the conversation. I don't want to just like regurgitate everything else everyone else is saying, you know? What's the point of any of this? Like any of this? Because we're having fun. The energy's chaotic today. I like used to be a big coffee drinker and then I went down to like a cup a day. I had a second cup today. Ezra editing this being like, oh, that's why you were so anxious this morning. Okay. So let's start with OC actually. We'll end with Jersey. So Real Housewives of Orange County, season 18, episode 4. The episode is called Not My Cup of Tea. Not My Cup of Tea. So it opens with Terry and Heather, and they're basically like, oh, our penthouse is so small, and our Beverly Hills home is under construction. We have nowhere to live. We are so rich. But they do seem very in love. Honestly, like watching the scene, I was like, oh, they like for real feel in love. Like, especially like Bravo couples, like a lot of times it feels like very like very staged. But I'm like, there's this like ease to them as a couple, which is funny about the whole paparazzi photos being staged. Like, it's just funny to me. So then Emily, Gina, Tamra, Jen, and Katie, they all go to the dive bar, baby. They pick up Katie, though, on the way. And Gina's like, I gotta pee. Let me go inside the house. I'll go pee. And she, like, talks to her husband, child, because you can't just walk in someone's house and be like, let me pee. You have to say hello to the people living there. Emily is such a girl's girl. She's like, I have to pee, too, but I cannot do the small talk. So she pees in a bush outside Katie's house. And I was just like, that's why I love Emily. So then at this, like, dive bar, the girls are being wild, but Katie's like, Heather did hire the paparazzi and I have proof. I have a screenshot. Very like first season housewife behavior. And then Gina's like not into it because she's like, Heather's my friend, like you really shouldn't do this, and she's like trying to get her to stop, which I think it's interesting that Gina and Heather like have this like real, it feels real friendship to me. But Tamra, man, she's just like, do it. And that's what she does. And like the whole thing about Heather like accidentally tagging her, or she did it on purpose, it feels like ageism to me. It really does, because I do think it was an accident. I think because I've done that, and like I think Heather definitely accidentally did it, and it just feels like she's going after her for anything. But it's like, just, that's not the way to come into Housewives, in my opinion. Like, there are two types of new Housewives ways of doing it. You come in and you immediately start drama, which is what Katie's doing. I don't think that's the way to go about it. That's what Anne-Marie did last season in Beverly Hills. I mean, I could name a lot of people who have done that and been unsuccessful. I think the best thing to do as a new housewife is to come in and develop friendships. And really that first season is about learning the group, and developing deep friendships so we can see it fall apart. Because if you come in, boom, 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 everyone's dead. No one wants to play with you. You just got to let it build up. So they do have a ugly moment at the bar, and I kind of love it, but it kind of looks like the bartenders are like they are over it. They're like, fuck this. Like, we have so much, because they're like spraying stuff and like pouring liquor, and I'm like, girl, we are like poor. Like, we're in a recession. You could not be throwing away like vodka and tequila like that. Okay, and then we're over at Shannon's house, and Vicky is back, baby. Vicky walks in such like classic Vicky fashion, like, I have a staph infection. I checked myself out of the hospital because I gotta work. I have enough money to retire, and I could, but I won't because I want to work. That's all I want to do. Work. Like, that is Vicky. But it's like classic, you know? Like, you can't, like, I'm not a huge Vicky fan, but you can't like love Bravo and not like, I see what Andy sees, okay? And Vicky and Shannon, they are figuring out what to do with this little live show that Tamara just kind of backed out of. It sounds like she ghosted them a little bit. And they're like really mad at her for it. And I get Tamara's point of view, because I think if she would have done the show right after Shannon's DUI, a show that's about drinking, it would have come off like very not cool. She should have communicated that, though, especially when you have like, you know, money connected. John Jansen is suing Shannon for $75,000. Now, they don't say it in the episode, but I think it was on like Jeff Lewis or something a couple months ago. It's like he paid for a facelift for her. It's just like, if he has all this money, why is he suing her? Do you think Alexis told him to sue? I don't know. Then we see Jen getting ready to go to Vegas, and she knows everyone would have a lot to say about her going to Vegas, so she does her own glam, but you can see, like, she doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't know what she's doing, and then still everyone has a lot to say because she's at the Spear instead of paying off her debt. And the yoga studio is not doing well, and they owe their landlord a lot of back rent. Some deal went wrong with, like, COVID rent, verbal, just, like, not, yeah. And then Jen's like, oh, the girls judged me. They're always trying to lower me down, which is true. But it's like, because you're pretending to be something you're not. And so they're really just calling out the inauthenticity. No, that's not right. Inauthentic. Producer Ezra, keep this in. I'm me tripping up. It's funny. It's authentic of me. And Gina is like, she's really struggling with like living on her own, having Travis not be there. And I feel for her on that. Like, even though, I don't know, even the nights where I do sleep alone because my partner's like living their life doing something else, I get a little sad. I'm glad to hear they're still together though. I wonder, like, will they get married? Will they get engaged? Like, I'm very curious. Katie, really, though, she talks about she's like friending all the housewives, like Sutton, Cynthia, like everyone. And it seemed like, I want to know if she tried to get on the show, how she's so in with these people. And she's having this like golf event. And Jen, of course, has glam for the golf event. It's like she made this whole thing of like, oh, I'm doing my own glam. It's like, no, you're not. And this was my favorite part of the whole like golf thing. Katie in her confessional goes, I'm talking golf balls and these girls are talking John Jansen balls. That should have been her tagline. Shannon shows up to the golf event and she looks so confused, and that's like what I like about Shannon. Like, there's just something that's so funny to me about her, like. And I like Gina and Heather's friendship. I think I said that earlier, but just like seeing them on the field together, I'm like, it feels very like real. And then Tamara, of course, brings up all the drama with the paparazzi and the photos. And Katie's, again, doing this, like, classic, just like, I don't want to go bring it up to the queen bee, but I'm going to have to. And it's like, it's not real. It's so manufactured. And the producers were probably like, oh, don't do this. Not again. Heather did swear on the lives of her children. She did not call the paparazzi. And then Heather's like, very much, Katie, you're like so obsessed with me. It's giving the, why are you so obsessed with me? Like that, like the Mariah. Like, I would love that music video, the obsessed music video, but Heather doing it. Heather, if you see this video or this audio, you just steal my idea. Just like do it. You don't have to credit me. Just like send me a DM and tell me I'm doing okay. I love Heather. I was thinking the other day, I was like, if I could meet, like, I don't know, you meet housewives and like meet and greets, BravoCon, stuff like that. And it's fun, like in a fan way, you know? But to like, if I got to hang out with a housewife, I would really want to hang out with Heather. And I'd be like, tell me how you did it, girl. How'd you do it? I don't know. I really like her. It's Orange County. It's like a fun season. It feels very classic Bravo. It feels very like there's so much history to Orange County, but you can also like tune in anytime and like get it. You know what I don't get though? New Jersey. It's such a bad season. None of these people care about each other. None of these people are really friends. The show's over. Like, we're getting multiple vacations on Orange County. I think they're going to both Big Bear and London, right? Normally we get 2 a year on Housewives. New Jersey, we're getting nothing. Like, no. Okay. Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 14, episode 12, Don't Try All This at Home. I do love that title. It's a good... Who names the episode titles like in reality TV? Is that like a line producer? Like, whose job is that? Well, not a... Yeah, Alex Baskin. Who's like the Alex Baskin, though, of the other shows? Like, I know he does like OC, Vanderpump, Beverly Hills, his production company. And Truly does it for a lot of the East Coast shows. But who's like the Alex Baskin of Truly? Okay. So it opens with Rachel's daughter. She's the one that had the tongue surgery, and it's like really, really improved. Her she's eating a lot. Her speech is more clear. Her gross motor is doing better. Like, that's like the little bits I need of like life things in order to deal with Jersey. Jersey's like, ugh. Dolores is an icon. She's an icon for many reasons, but the first one is she's on FaceTime with Jen Fessler. And Jen Fessler saved as Jen Ziggy's friend. Still, after all, like, when was Ziggy on the show? Like, a long time ago. So in this, like, reboot, cash shakeup, whatever is going to happen, I vote Dolores. Unpopular opinion. I know everyone's like, we need Rachel, we need Margaret. I would like Dolores. I need to know what's going to happen with her and Pauly. I want to see what career. She's probably going to have 5 more careers, like, left in her, honestly. I love Dolores. Dolores says Goombaya instead of Kumbaya. She goes, we won't all be Goombaya. That is Jersey. That is so Jersey. And just, that is why she is an icon. Jen lets Marge know that Teresa invited everyone over to like talk about the lawyer, and Marge is so fucking pissed. She is so fucking pissed. She explains to Jen Fessler, she's like, you cannot do that. And Jen's like, okay, got it. And then she calls Dolores, yells at her. Dolores is eating, and she's like, bye. She calls someone else, and she's like, never mind, my omelet's here. Fuck you. I can't eat a whole cold omelet. I love Marge, because Marge is who she is. She owns who she is. And she's like, bow down, bitches. Does she have to go too, though? It's like, I like these women individually, just together. It's done. And Marge is so pissed that Fessler's like, all right, bye, let me bow out. which is so, like, I met Fessler at that, like, Bravo watch party thing, and, like, every time I saw her, like, we had our meet and greet, and I was like, I love you, I'm obsessed with you, but every time I saw her, she would, like, kind of do that. She would, like, pinch my arm if she had had drinks that night, but she gives me such, like, she reminds me of my own mom. She doesn't seem as pretentious as the other women, and it seems like she's also, like, I like to have fun, and I want to be in the stuff, but I'm also a little scared, which I relate to. Would love Fessler still. Louis and Joe Gorga are both having guys' nights, and they're doing it a little differently. So the men are at Louis, and they have, like, a nice dinner before, but then Louis is like, all right, fellas, let's go film some devotionals to our wives. Let's tell our wives how we feel. It's so cringe and awkward. Like, I cannot imagine producer Ezra in a room with the other guys being like, Carson, I love you. Let me, like, I cannot imagine it. I just did, actually. And it was cringe. And then the men at Joe Gorga's are like, let us do bone marrow shots. And then Buddha has this insane allergic reaction. And then he, like, refuses all medical care. He's like, Italians don't go to the hospital. We do Vicks. And they're like, Vicks does nothing for an allergic reaction if your throat is closing. He was like, I'll take some Vicks. And so they had been planning to on Jersey this, like, vacation to the Berkshires. They had, you know, Dolores had found her house and everything. House burned down to a crisp, she said. Vacation canceled, bad omen. Now, they could have found something else. They could just put the women in hotels where they had individual rooms. But no, they love a house. I also love Dolores, like, kind of making fun of her Polly's accent a little bit. It's so cute because she has a thick one too, so it's just very adorable. Oh my god, Teresa's lawyer gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, Marg was kind of funny, like, her lawyer has an office in Atlantic City, mine's on Fifth Avenue. Like, I get it, but he really does give me heebie-jeebies. Like, Louis does too, but the lawyer even more. And he basically says, like, Marge was giving information to Louis' ex, and they wanted to expose Marge. Whole thing's messy, and, like, kind of weird for a lawyer to have, like, a town hall meeting about a case, like, with just these random women. I don't know. It feels, like, very below, you know? Marge, though, she is a fucking icon for sending those flowers in. Like, I was like, icon behavior. Like, I literally paused so many times to take screenshots. It was so funny. That is why I'm like, okay, so for me, who I would keep, if we're keeping cast members for a reboot, I would keep Marge, Fessler, and Dolores, and maybe Fuda. And then get rid of Fuda or Danielle, get rid of Teresa, get rid of Jen, get rid of Melissa. I don't know. I don't really know. And then Danielle in her confessional is like, this is the most gangsta move I have ever. That's why I'm like, you can keep Danielle in the reboot because that's a fucking great confessional. That's so funny. Danielle, too, has something about her that feels so Jersey, but also the question then is like, okay, if we keep Danielle and Fuda, they bring in more friends of, like, girls their age, and do we go more in that cycle? But in Jersey, I kind of love that they're not super young. I don't know. I could go all ways. Dolores, she seems really tired this season. She's like, look, I'm helping everyone. It is too much. And it's like the house burnt to a crisp, which I heard it was just like did it burn to a crisp or was it a small fire? Because I've heard both things. And she just seems like she's like, it's an omen. I'm done. Fuck it. And she's like, fuck it. Finale's a dinner now, not a vacation. And then Teresa's like, oh, it's an omen. It's an omen. Or she goes, it's an ohm. It's an ohm. So, I I'm excited though for the finale. Let's just wrap it up, let it will be what it'll be, and then they'll probably, honestly, like, we're not going to know what's going to happen next with Jersey for a long time. It's probably going to be a long pause. Bravo's filming, like, I mean, we can making it in Manhattan, this new Dorinda show. There, it seems like they have stuff in production. Do you think Ultimate Girls Trip is just done? Just done. It's not happening. Release the footage. Release the footage. But yeah. So, Orange County, worth a watch. Jersey, just, if you're watching, finish it. And if you haven't started Jersey this season, just, I'll give you a full season recap next week. And there's not really a real reunion for Jersey. So, I'm undecided if I'll do like a full sleepover with some house guests or we'll play. But if you like listen to the podcast and ever like, you should do this and not this, just tell me. Just because, like I said, we are a small community. We are a tiny little community, especially if you have like book recommendations, like for the Bravo Book Club, anything you want me to cover. Or I do want to do some old season rewatch recaps, kind of like really do a deep dive on it. Let me know any shows or seasons too. It was a fun episode. We will see you guys next week. Bye.